All right, welcome to the latest edition of the FPL America podcast. This is David Smith.
Travis Hoig.
Brian Chesko.
Gentlemen,
Hey, guys.
it's sad, but I think we're now past 2/3 of the season.
Really?
It sounds like a lot. I mean, what, we're in match week 20. We finished up match week 26. There is only 12 left, right? There's 38 match weeks. So, yeah, we're there. I mean, fast math there. It's above my math abilities.
I'm not ready to let it go.
I don't know that much maths. I always love how across the pond they say maths, as in there's multiple maths, which there are.
I mean,
and in our stupid American English, we just call it math. Like there's only one math.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, all that being said, look, the season is coming to a close really quickly. And a lot of people sitting on their wild card haven't used it yet. I know someone in our mini league Billy, has punched his wild card ticket. And he's like, hey, I got to regroup. And at this point, I'm wondering, now I get it. If you don't have to, I get it. When I did it multiple weeks ago, it was a springboard for me. And I kind of got lucky. I kind of used it earlier in the second half of the season than I have in the past. And I don't know, this time it's really helped me, or I've just gotten lucky, which I'll err on the luck side at this point. Bottom line, there's a lot of moving parts. People are going to be thinking about it. Brian, there's double match weeks, there's blank match weeks, and we'll maybe lean into it a little bit coming up. Match week 29 has like 4 games.
Yeah.
And it's all from teams that you don't even care about playing. That's not true. Tottenham's playing. People do care about Tottenham.
We can talk about that because you get the variety of opinion out there.
It's going to come into, Brian, as happens every year, right? There's always a huge blank week.
Yeah.
And then there's a massive double.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to if you have your free hit, or do you try to time it out so you bench boost on the double, because you might have a lot of those guys already that are playing.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm looking at it now, and in match week 29, like Arsenal and City are playing. That's 2 teams. I have 3 from each team. So that's immediately 6 players. The second they're not playing, I am out 6 players.
Yep.
So,
yeah, we screamed about it a lot last week. I still feel the same way about the stable of players, but we were so close. The FA Cup almost gave us a couple more. More
teams, but
almost did it.
Chelsea survived.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Liverpool's kindergarten team survived.
Man.
And, Manchester United, I think, survived, right? That was another one.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest was pushing and somehow
United
ended up being United.
Snuck one away. Yeah. Anyways, all that being said, let's dive into it. Unless, I mean, you have some other things that are going to be on the docket here?
No, just that we need to talk about just Liverpool did not play this week. I mean, if we were going to talk about matches, Liverpool didn't play, but we need more news about your team. This is a Liverpool podcast. So we need to know.
No, 100%. Yeah.
We need to know what the plan is, because I think the variation, I know for me, just to go back to just as a setup, I still have free hit, wild card, and bench boost. Like a lot of people. Like
fully loaded.
Almost 3/4 loaded, because my triple captain is gone.
Okay, fair enough.
Also like a lot of people. But the question of where, free hit 20, it seems like a common and popular strategy right now is free hit 29.
Right.
And then wild card ahead of, and some point between 29 and 34, because by 30 we'll have all of the reschedules for all of these for all the blanks. So 34, the projection to be a big double week, and 37 a big double-ish game week. 37 to be a massive double game week.
Right.
So that bench boost 37 seems to be the pundit class popular choice right now. No one has to do what the pundits say. We're pundits.
Yeah.
We sit here and pund about all these things, but we are not. You do not have to do what any of us say. We only have to do what Dave does if we want to be successful, because he's the only one. He's the only one with any success in this room
and
right now.
That continues to shock me. I do.
All of us. It shocks all of us.
I have questions.
Okay.
I have some information. We have some things you have to worry about in the near term, so we can talk about that. And if you want to do it by going fixture by fixture this past week, we can do that. You're the captain. You steer us.
Let's do this. There's some games we don't hardly have to mention because I don't think they have very many mentionable players. We can start with Liverpool. You already brought it up.
Yeah.
And Liverpool didn't play, but they did play. They won the Carabao Cup, Travis.
Yeah.
And then they just won their FA Cup match. We are recording way later in the week.
We are.
We probably should have opened with this. We're recording later because the House of Hoig was under fire from viruses. And the flu puking virus kind of showed up, didn't it?
Yeah, the kids all emptied themselves in all the ways.
They had cleanses
for several days. And,
Hoigvid.
Yeah, it was great. And I'm hoping it's over because my wife and I did not get it. The kids did.
Hey, hallelujah.
So weird. Our whole house had strep. Every child, strep throat.
But you guys didn't.
Adults, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not even a sniffle.
Wow.
It's wisdom. It's just prevented.
I say that it's McDonald's.
Because if you feed yourself crap, then crap can't affect you.
Yeah.
Right.
But I know your wife doesn't eat McDonald's.
Well, I guess the kids do, but
she does not.
Yeah.
Kids don't either.
Wait.
My kids don't.
So
I thought
you
they
were
did.
the one that was protected because McDonald's gave you some kind of.
She's protected by elderberry syrup.
Okay,
whatever
sure.
that is.
Of course.
I'm protected by bacon McDoubles.
Hey,
no ketchup.
Elderberry is no joke.
Why no ketchup?
I don't like it.
What's wrong with you?
On a burger? No, thank you.
Interesting. I've never not ordered.
I would be missing it.
I've never.
I don't want warm ketchup on my sandwich.
Oh yeah, that's the only way I want it. I don't want cold ketchup. Give me cold ketchup. Warm ketchup.
I kind of want
a little
ketchup.
bit of pickle.
I want.
It's so good on a burger.
Want to control the amount of ketchup that I have on the side for dipping fries only. That's it.
Okay, sure.
I will mix hot sauce in my ketchup because I want spicy ketchup.
Okay.
And I do not want it to touch anything that matters. Period. I'll do it for breakfast, like for breakfast stuff, like a breakfast platter or whatever, like breakfast potatoes, eggs, stuff
Have
like
a
that.
little on the side.
I don't mind if it gets in there a little bit, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a
huge ketchup person either.
Guy.
But
because barbecue sauce exists. That's my sandwich alternative.
With you 100%.
Mustards, barbecues, horseradish,
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I just don't like that you're so down on ketchup. Ketchup deserves.
So I'm not a huge ketchup person. I'm more on Brian's side probably than yours.
Well, I agree with all that stuff.
But
I prefer that stuff. But
I will
ketchup
say
isn't
this.
a slouch. It's useful.
I feel like the best ketchup
is
when you go to the diner style restaurants.
Yeah. Oh, in the red bottle. Yeah,
in the red bottle.
Yeah, the red
and
bottle.
it's got the really thin tip. And
you want crinkle fries.
Crinkle fries. And I want to put a little strip down.
The watered down ketchup that they get out of a can.
Whatever
they get out of a can, a
Shake
giant
it up.
can. Whatever ketchup comes out of the red squeeze bottles.
Good.
For whatever reason, seems to be the best. I don't know why. Sounds silly.
Because it's fermented there for years and years.
All I know is it seems to be, in my world, the best. Also, this is not a food.
Even talking about?
This is not a food podcast. We were talking about sickness
ketchup,
and why Brian
red,
didn't get sick.
Ketchup, red, Liverpool, Mo Salah. So that's what we are. That's red. Red leads into red. So
last food note, and I have to say this.
He's not done.
I'm not done. When you go to any restaurant, you know it's good. If a restaurant has good fries, everything else will be good. Fries are like the lowest end of the sides. And so if a restaurant cares about their fries and they have good fries, and we're not talking about fast food, I'm talking about a sit-down restaurant. If the fries come out and they're good.
The chips.
Fries, chips, well played, then everything else will be respectable because they care as much about the least on their menu. And the fries would be considered, for the most part, the least.
All right.
All that being said, red ketchup, Red Liverpool. Red Liverpool didn't play, yet we're leading with them.
Well,
Because I guess, as Brian has said, this is a Liverpool podcast.
I'm leading with it because
they do have questions. There's questions all over. I want to know. Mohamed Salah did not play in the Carabao Cup final. He did not dress and was not in the team in the FA Cup match today. And everyone's wondering. I mean, I have one Liverpool red at the moment, and it's Virgil, and
who played both matches.
Yeah, well, he seems unsubbable, and I am ready to pull the trigger to make money.
Halftime in the last match yesterday, but
that's my question. Salah again is he's the number one midfield transfer again this week. He was
in or out?
In. He was a top transfer in last week, despite not playing this week. Is there a clarity on his injury? Okay.
Yes. Not how long he's going to be out, but he is not playing this game week.
Okay.
Klopp flat out said he was asked directly, and Klopp said no, he will not be playing.
Wow.
All right. Okay. So immediately, if I wanted to be real frivolous about something, Luis Diaz would be in my team as fast as possible. If I had no other issues, Luis Diaz as fast as I could get him in my midfield. The numbers, this is a thing where I'm numbers are nuts.
I'm glad you said it. I just wanted to bring up his last 5 matches: 12, 5, 9, 5, 7.
And he's played very well.
And he's played majority of minutes in most of those games.
In other competitions. So, I don't think that's a bad move. Again, there is no clarity on how long, but it is definitely clear that Salah is not playing this week. So, Diaz is probably is the choice if you're gonna swap him for another.
The reason why
hold on real quick before we dive into that important notion, because you have good info, I can tell. Would you rather have, if you didn't have these guys in your team, and I know that, well, I'll tell you, Foden's ownership's lower than I thought. Foden 7.9, Richarlison 7.0, Diaz 7.5. Would you rather have Diaz, Richarlison, or Foden? Or, okay, let's do this. Diaz or Foden? Probably going to say Foden. Maybe.
I'm going to say Foden.
I would say Foden.
But that's just like have and hold.
Diaz.
So to me, it's more of I'm saying this week in particular because it's Nottingham Forest.
All right.
That this is Liverpool is not scared to beat up on anybody. It doesn't matter how bad they are.
Completely agree.
They don't care. So they are willing to do that. And I would just say what he's done, and the reason why it even came up for me in the first place was once I started looking at Saka's numbers. Because I was like, hey, there's nothing to say about Saka. When we get to Arsenal, we can talk about him other than you should have him. But I'm looking I did it because I was saying after Saka's slump, which basically ended in game week 22.
Right.
Okay? So since game week 22, Saka is your number one scoring midfielder. He's got 7 goals. But once I got into the rest of the hard numbers, it's it's Foden, Saka, and Luis Diaz. It's those 3 alternating in shots on target, shots in the box. Luis Diaz is number 1 for shots in the box since game week 22. He's got 20 shots in the box, 4 more than Bukayo Saka, who's in second place. That's among midfielders. So I'm saying, I'm looking through, I'm like, holy cow, 9 shots on target for Bukayo Saka, and I'm like, that's awesome. I want Saka shooting in the box all the time. And then someone's ahead of him. It's Luis Diaz, 10 shots on target.
Right.
And since game, I'm like, the points are great. So that's the thing. This is where I'm like, he is when he's not an accessory to the Jota, Salah, Darwin, Gakpo front 3, and he's an actual focal point of it. Is that what's happening? I mean, obviously he's I'm saying the numbers are not just better than they were. He is a top 3 midfielder for shots and shots in the box and shots on target since game week 22, which pretty much coincides with Salah not being there.
Foden's last 5. I read Diaz's a few minutes ago. Foden's last 5, 20, 3, 2, 3, 11. Diaz has outscored him in the last 5 match weeks.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm like,
and Foden's,
I'm just saying it as he's been not for me. He's an avoid. I feel like it was kind of a no-brainer.
An avoid. Just so much. He's not. He wasn't translating it to points, right?
I'm just saying,
getting the ball and playing.
But it is now.
I'm just saying, even in their double, it was not. I mean, if you
no
went
one
to,
was,
I was going to
no
say,
one was
if you went
bringing
to Diaz,
Diaz.
If you went to Diaz, it was because you're just being a contrarian because everyone else was going to Jota,
and you would have been a good man. Now, what do you think Diaz's ownership is?
Less than 5.
Travis,
I know what it is because I had him up.
It's. I was shocked by this, and I would have guessed around where you guessed, Brian, and it's 10.
Oh, 10%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was very surprising to me.
Well, good for that's. I'm sure that's come up.
Who has higher ownership, Richarlison or Diaz?
I would assume
Today.
Richarlison.
I would say Richarlison.
That's right, but by how much do you think?
I would say Richarlison's.
I would have guessed Richarlison
15 to 18%.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to think Richarlison was was probably pushing 20.
12.
Oh, what?
It's 2% higher than Diaz. That's interesting, right?
So the Richarlison injury makes this it makes it complicated, and then the Solanke injury makes it even. But the potential of both these guys being injured or whatever, I'm sure we'll know on Friday, or at least we'll know. I would assume we'll know more by the end of practices on tomorrow. But I'm telling you for sure, already, I mean, one of the big questions this week is what's your selection? Because I feel like you went from having probably, no bench last week to this week. Like, I'm not sure who to bench.
Yeah.
Or at least if, depending on the fitness of Solanke, I'm not sure. Like, I don't want to leave Cole Palmer on the bench, but right now, Cole Palmer is my bench guy.
Well, right now, Solanke's my bench guy.
Right, and that's what I mean.
But he's got a triangle.
Right. So the Solanke news this week, the injury to and the non-practice participation of Richarlison is messing up a lot of teams.
I did not know that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
He has no triangle.
Enter Liverpool playing Nottingham Forest, and this is what I'm saying. Like, for me, if I find out if Ange comes out on Friday and just says, "Yeah, Richarlison, we're gonna be safe with him. We don't want him." Like, so many people are going to Son. Son is a lot Ange of people will say that.
You think so?
Yeah, Ange has been really clear about what guys are struggling with.
Yeah, he doesn't have the normal manager protocol.
Yeah,
he I'll give you that.
Ange has not been. He has been forthright about injuries. That is for sure. I'm just saying, Richarlison to Luis Diaz is I'll pull that trigger in a heartbeat. I'm not. I don't have enough money to go to Son and to Diaz.
Are you just willing to do it for 1 week, or are you willing to do it now for multiple weeks? I guess that's my question.
Diaz, I don't think that's terrible.
I'm willing to do it for 1 week. I'm totally willing to do that.
Just assuming you'll hit back out, or
the next match after that is City.
Yeah, it's the City match, and even that, Salah will be back for that one. So I think that's the question.
So.
Because at that point, I'm gonna need the wild card here.
Richarlison's playing Palace at home. I mean, but you're assuming if word comes out, he's not playing.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm picking that's what I'm saying. If I'm picking my team right now, yeah, my starting. I'm starting all of my forwards. So I'm gonna do the very normal front line of Haaland, Watkins, Solanke.
Hoping Solanke plays.
Right. And we can talk about that in a second. But Foden, I'm going to keep now the hottest hand in sports, Jared Bowen. Saka and Cole Palmer against this Brentford team. I way prefer that to a potentially not quite fit Richarlison. So and then a very normal back line.
Currently over Richarlison in the lineup as opposed to Solanke, who's got the dreaded yellow
for
triangle.
Sure. No, and that's why I'm saying Richarlison with no triangle, Richarlison not listed on premier injuries. Ben Dinnery is not, that I know of as we sit here right now, has not said anything about it. This is all entirely because a Spurs accounts had
Spurs beat writer.
The only thing they showed of Richarlison was him slapping hands with some folks in a room
in a boot.
But his name was not listed on the practice board along with Porro. So they were the only two guys that were thought to should be participating who Poro's got a problem, but the fact that Richarlison wasn't on the board became all of a sudden a massive, like, the alarm bells.
So
sounded.
Salah's not playing,
according to Klopp.
Trent's not playing.
Correct. Trent is not playing. Trent was in a knee brace last we saw him.
Darwin, what's Darwin doing?
Likely to be coming back. Yeah, I think Darwin will be back. I think Szoboszlai will be back.
Jota obviously not. No Jota, no Jones.
Correct.
Maybe Szoboszlai and Salah. Or you're saying Szoboszlai maybe this week?
Szoboszlai and Darwin should probably be this week, at least on the bench.
Is Virgil going to score a goal every week from now until they win the title?
He might have to in order to win the title.
If Darwin doesn't start, is the young boy Dan's?
I think he'll play. I think he'll be on the bench.
I loved his goal in the FA Cup.
Which one?
The one he scored yesterday or today, where he chipped the keeper.
And he scored another one after that, though.
Okay.
So he had a brace. So yeah, he had a little.
I
dink.
I didn't know that.
He had a little dink, and then he had a little cleanup.
I thought you were joshing with me, like maybe he just scored in another FA match.
No, he had two. He ricochet off the keeper, basically coming back at him, and he
finished.
Picked up the.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jaden Dan's.
You're gonna treat Southampton like this, like that's.
Honestly, it was almost a very different game. Southampton came out to play, so the score flattered Liverpool. They definitely picked it up in the second half, but Southampton played pretty solid in the first part of the first half, especially.
Anyways, so it wouldn't surprise me at this point the way Dan's has played is if Darwin's not 100%, Dan's gets to start again.
You know what I could do?
And if you want to go crazy, that kid's 4'5".
What I would do is
the cheapest Liverpool move right now
is Connor Bradley.
Or
Kelleher.
Kelleher 3-7 right now.
All right. So what's the word on Allison then?
He's not back until like
March
April.
31st.
Yeah.
Kelleher. So this is what I was going to say.
He's not playing out of his mind right now too.
Yeah. Kelleher and Connor Bradley.
I would agree with that.
Are a cheap way in. Yeah. To defense, especially if you're wild carding.
This is what I was going to say.
They're good cheap
right now
for a couple weeks.
Kelleher's 3-7.
Yeah,
3-7
for now. He might be going up tonight,
but still,
if he didn't go up tonight,
even if he goes up, he's still worth a look.
Ownership is 3.5. Oh my gosh,
he's better.
I have one transfer this week.
I've had him for 2 weeks.
I should use that transfer. Maybe
he's better than Dubravka, and he's better than Areola. I can promise you that. What I was going to say is the fastest way for me to make money, I would take a hit for this. I'm totally willing to do this against Nottingham Forest. Trippier out, Connor Bradley in, Richarlison out, Luis Diaz in. I'll take that. I would do that if I know
do
tomorrow.
It right now?
No, because
I'll give you $1 if you do it right now.
You have $1. No, but I will do it for. I will do it for the upside, dependent on the news of Solanke and Richarlison playing. So
I just don't think Richarlison's going to miss. It's just. Yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
Doing what?
Kelleher.
Am I crazy for adding
Quavine?
When Allison comes back, Allison comes right back into the team. Is this understood? Because
I think so.
At what point does Liverpool, who Kelleher is going to be looking now after this season, of what are my other options?
Oh yeah, no, he's very likely to leave, and I think they've pretty much established.
But why would you let Kelleher leave when Allison is, I don't know, 34, 35-ish? And
I think he's that old.
I think so. He looks it. Maybe it's the beard. I don't know. But my point being is, why would you continue to play what feels like an old man when you have the young stud who is bigger than Allison and playing out of his mind? I don't understand that business.
31.
And how old's Kelleher? 21? Exactly. So, or 22, 23? I'll go with the guy 8 years younger, and it will probably be cheaper. You're right.
25.
Allison isn't that
25 and 31.
So
30, but keepers.
I know. Keepers can
31
play longer.
is prime. No, honestly, more so than anything.
Keeper. I mean, Allison's good till
Kelleher
35.
has been described as the best number 2 in the world. by Klopp, and I don't.
Aaron Ramsdale would have something to say about that.
I think I would take Kelleher over Ramsdale today for sure.
Yeah, something hilarious
maybe.
for sure.
Whatever.
Kelleher's has got way more trophies than Ramsdale.
Oh yeah, he's done, just right. I mean,
yeah, that penalty shootout that he won the last year.
Trent Dilfer has more Super Bowls than Dan Marino.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Okay, I mean, let's just count those up.
Hey,
all right,
you got to win to be respected. Don't
I
you?
guess my point is, if Allison's healthy, is he coming directly back in?
Yeah, but you got a month.
So now,
you got a month.
Right.
It sounds
you
like
got
a month.
4 game weeks.
It seems like that, but I don't know if maybe it will be. There's international break in there.
That's true.
It just doesn't.
And the blank game week.
And there's a blank.
Yeah.
So it just.
My point was I jumped on that 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And I'm staying on it. And
smart
it's
guy.
fine.
Smart
and I said that here that we needed to do, and I did it. And it's been great.
I'm just wondering if
the rest of my team is trash.
Granted, I haven't been starting Dubravka, so
I was
he's
going
been
to say
doing crap
I'd have
for
to
me
go.
anyway,
I'd have to go Areola out, Kelleher in, because the 0.1, I need 0.4 to go from Richarlison to Diaz.
You're that tight?
I have $0.
Wow.
Part of that is my own fault because I didn't transfer in Ollie Watkins before price rise. I waited until
no.
Hey, information is more important.
I know it's the one time where
I've
a point one would have been nice. It was a move.
Don't waffle on this.
It was a move I knew I was going to make too, and I sat there and I was like, "Why did I do that?" I could see it happening right before my very eyes, and I waited, and now I'm on even money. I have 0 in the bank, so stupid on me.
I just did it.
Tupignon?
So that's the thing. I'm just saying. I think for all the other moves everyone is anticipating or looking at doing, and so much of this is dependent on. Like I think was it Lego Mane? I think I saw earlier today. He had the answer to the question of, when to wild card, when to free hit. The answer to the question is Mo Salah again, isn't it? Like it's just he's the answer to any problem that you have that's coming up, with whatever your team arrangement is. Like he is the biggest hurdle to overcome because you assume he's coming back and fit and firing for the end of the season, right?
Yeah. I think that's the reason why he's not playing this upcoming week.
Would you dare go without him, kind of to wrap up the season until the title's decided?
I brought him in at the very beginning of the season before it started.
Oh, you still have him?
And I never have dropped him.
You lunatic.
I just feel like
because
that's really
I'm crazy.
stupid.
Yeah.
I'm doing so well in our league. It's not even funny.
You just could have been spending that money in so many other places.
Yeah, but I don't try that hard.
All right.
You're forgetting.
Touche.
Name
Fair
of my
enough.
team.
Right.
Giving up by week 8.
So you have
I stand by
I guess
that.
So what I'm saying is you have Darwin's not now that you have. I mean, if you had the money, would you go Solanke to Darwin? Would you dare do
if
that
he's
kind of
hurt?
move?
Maybe if Solanke's injured and we find out there's more to his knee.
Let's go to Bournemouth and Manchester City.
We need to move
after
on.
this.
We've been talking about this for
I
half
already
an hour.
wanted to. I already had that queued up.
Look, I know you hate Liverpool. I just want to talk about them because I feel like they're they're the biggest factor here. For
And they
a
didn't
lot of
even play.
I know. I just want to. I
Unbelievable.
want to get.
How
through
did
hey.
what is this pod coming
No,
to?
I want to get through. I feel like it's important.
Scott's over there pulling the strings on you again.
And another thing about VAR.
Hey, can we just acknowledge that for once this season he's not in last place in our mini league?
Good.
Oh,
He moved
really?
up out of the basement and into
Is
the
there a
second
dead?
to
Is there a
last
dead
place.
team
It's Jeff
hanging
so
around?
I don't
Oh,
think
Jeff,
so.
come on.
Yeah,
Come on, don't feel bad for Scott and just let that happen. All right, City 1, Bournemouth 0. I know we're not blasting through the individual match weeks. Phil Foden gives you a return. All the Holland captainers felt hard done by, as was his XG at 2 again, Brian?
I don't.
I know it was. It felt like a couple weeks ago.
I mean, it was high. It was his XG. It was fantastic. His XG was. Hold on.
No, it was just wild. When Foden scored, City scored it in the 24th minute.
He had,
and it looked like. Hold on. It just looked like keep collecting info there.
I got it.
It looked like City was just going to absolutely railroad
Roll
them.
him. Yeah.
And somehow Bournemouth just hung on and hung on. And all of a sudden, it's late in the second half, and Bournemouth is on. Yeah.
They were pressing.
They were pressing hard.
City looked scared.
I know. City hung on for this match.
Yeah, Solanke's he was, I mean, it didn't go to a digital image of, whether it was over the line or not, but it was close.
Oh yeah.
Solanke's.
Oh yeah. It wasn't close enough to even have to do that though. I don't think.
Right.
I think he was.
You could still see it.
Could tell. Yeah.
Haaland finishes with 4 shots, 2 on target. He finishes credited with 3 big chances with an XG of 0.82. So, but you say 3 big chances for Haaland.
0.82. Close enough. I mean,
0.82.
Yeah.
So he's near 1. Close enough to 1 because your top XG for the week is Ollie Watkins at 1.36. So.
Okay.
So that's kind of that's the range you're talking about here.
So it's high.
What I was going to say is this week was like in that discussion of kind of the last, it's basically 10 game weeks. Midfield has been dominated by 3 people, and it's Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, and
Cole Palmer
and Luis Diaz.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. The last 3. Yes, the last 5, 6 weeks.
This is a 10-week.
Last 10 weeks.
Yeah, I'm saying like you've got that's why I said from the time that Bukayo Saka, like I said when I was bullied into getting him back,
and you
from that point on.
Ever since.
Yeah, it's since game week 22, and then even prior to that, like you've got like many weeks now of returns and of just great performances, not just good performances, like season-defining performances from these guys. So, but yeah, at least since game week 22, the top 3 names that you see, again, statistically, by FPL points across the board, it's Foden, Diaz, Saka.
A lot of people, and this needs to be mentioned, had De Bruyne.
Oh yeah,
in starting. De Bruyne does not start. He comes off the bench again in the 84th minute.
Yeah.
And then comes in and picks up a yellow card, so he doesn't even get you a 1. He got you a 0.
Yeah, and then plays 90 minutes against Luton, and he and Haaland decide to play 2 on 11.
That was
yeah, but
else.
It wasn't until late. It was a 3-2 ball game. This isn't baseball. It was a 3-2 soccer match, football match. What are we calling this? Up until like the 64th minute in that, I know. Up until the 64th minute, and then all of a sudden City just caught them on the break. What felt like 3 times in a row, and next thing you know, it's 6-2. But it was 3-2. Anyways,
Phil Foden goes for his 4th double-digit return this season, but he's had 3 double-digit returns since game week 20. So that's why I'm saying this is.
I know. I wrote him hard earlier in the year and most of last year when he was earning the name Fall Down Phil, and now he has unearned it. Although I will continue to call him that.
I think if they had scored more goals, they definitely would have conceded something. But they hang on here
and
to
they
a clean
concede
sheet.
nothing.
They concede nothing, right?
I wonder if this might not be the pattern going out, that they play it a little tighter, and not at least the Premier League matches. You can't tell me the Bournemouth's defense was just so amazing that it just shut them down.
No,
I'm just saying, I wonder, they know that they are in a mistake-free zone, and when you play a little looser and not as tight defensively, things can happen.
Yeah, last 3 games in a row. I mean, you're talking about draw against Chelsea where they score a goal, home to Brentford where they score a goal, away to Bournemouth where they score a goal.
Yeah, they're not, offense is not like it's just pinging around.
I know. I mean, I haven't dug into this a ton. I just know that they're just the kind of talk about Stones being back. John Stones being back changes a lot for them.
It does.
That helps him out defensively,
big time.
Yeah,
or in other words, gives him more of a shot for clean sheets.
Yeah, just because of what his function and what he had been doing for them. When he's not fit, they're reliant on players who are not as good as he is.
Bringing it out of the back and moving the transition play is significantly slower when Stones is not in the game. for them.
So John Stone's
at a 5.3. You wouldn't own him, would you?
I don't think you own him. I just think I just
started the last 3 of the 4 matches.
Yeah. But I'm saying I'm not saying go to him. I'm just saying it's good. I'm saying it's good all around for what they're doing. So it's important for them. I mean, they lose Grealish again, but that's it. I mean, that's kind of the only guy they're down here is Grealish. Grealish is, and that's not. I
think Gardeval is not.
But he's not
ticking yet. He's out. He's out for a little bit.
And I think the way Manchester City Alex, who we refer to forever, this is Manchester City Alex podcast, just said referred to Gvardiol's skill set as alien. Yeah, just talked about what a freak he is in terms of what he provides them. Also, so that's another guy. Like, is there a note on that? Does Dinnery got a? Do they have an update on him?
If only
on
there was a way.
The list for them is short. He's got him possibly coming back this weekend. So
okay. As an Ake owner, I wonder what that does if Stones, Gardeval.
You're getting you're getting rotation. That's what you're getting.
What? So you're telling me?
I'm telling you should go to find that list. That collection of Manchester City people who put down. It's like 20 people who do their predictions about who's going to start.
Oh man!
And you can see percentages of kind of overall like people who are more in the know about Manchester City. You should check that out. You need that if you have a Manchester City
or you can just avoid them altogether.
Yeah, you need that.
Oh boy! All right, let's move on to a team. Look, we covered most things. City there. Is there anything else we missed?
Not with City. What I was going to ask is for Bournemouth. I was going to ask, should I get someone other than Solanke? Which, like, it's too bad that Leicester beat Bournemouth in the FA Cup. That was half the equation that we needed, but the other half didn't materialize. But so the question of whether or not Solanke is injured, that's up in the air, and that's why I'm saying, like, as we sit here, we don't know. But this is what you've got to work with. What do you say about this? First of all, is it a big deal that he did not play in the FA Cup? It's a quarterfinal. But does Bournemouth care?
I think they do.
They had to care a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's a winnable game.
Was he even on the bench?
No. He was sitting in that really fun booth with Tyler Adams. Did you see that? You didn't watch it? Oh, that would have been fun.
Oh,
they're just sitting up there enjoying life. But as soon as you hear MRI and knee, then you automatically it's a freak out. But this is what Areola said. He said some variation of, we decided not to risk him because he wasn't feeling well or wasn't feeling well from his knee. We have to assess him. But then has said multiple times, I hope it's not something big and that he can help us this weekend or help us against Burnley. So it doesn't sound that bad. But I think even during the FA Cup match, I can't remember what announcer it was, just said seems odd that he wouldn't be out at all. Didn't even make the bench in a game like this. But I think the feeling the other side of that was, if you lose him in the league, they don't have a team. They're a good team, but they don't have anybody other than Solanke that's any kind of focal point like he is. So if he goes down, is it Semenyo? Is that who you're counting on the rest of the season?
Right. No, I got you.
It's a winger, yeah.
So I guess the bottom line of it is, what are you going to do? You brought him in here. Unless you're on a wild card, you're not reselling him.
Because didn't they have Kiefer Moore at the beginning of the season, and they've loaned him out?
Yeah.
Did they really?
Yeah. That's weird.
So, I just think if you have him, you're holding him, you're the whole point of this then is double game week 29. That's the buildup here, is he's not, even if he misses Burnley, it's, what is it, Sheffield Luton, I'm pretty sure is their double.
It is.
If it's not so bad that the manager's not even ruling him out against Burnley, but he did say the word, he went for an MRI. He wasn't feeling good in his knee. So that's like, that's what I'm saying. You can't do anything with it until there's any sort of either training picture or something concrete, and whatever concrete is from a manager. So,
all right, let's move on to a real team, Arsenal.
No, look, listen, the fixtures. Look, it's. You tell me how good this is. Burnley. Right. Double game week with Sheffield and Luton. So now the game week 29 is blank, but whatever. Because after that, it's Everton, Crystal Palace, Luton, and I would say you throw in Manchester United in game week 33 because it's a home game against Manchester United. So you have minimum until game week 33 where they have useful players. Goalkeeper Neto, I don't think is a bad choice. He's seventh. Yeah. He's seventh in goalkeeper scoring right now. Doesn't make a lot of saves. This is a weird thing. Like since game week 15, he's got 2 matches. No, wrong. Opposite. Since game week 15, only twice did not have at least 1 save point. So, like, is making a decent amount of saves.
Yeah.
But you're not buying a goalkeeper for saves, and he's 4.6. The defenders, I just think the defenders, like the list for everyone is like Senesi's the popular choice because he's probably the highest scoring, whatever. He sure loves them yellow cards though.
He does.
So eight yellow cards right now. That's everybody's warning. That's readily available. It's the first thing you probably see about him other than you should get him in your team. And also be aware he's got 8 yellow cards. Because he gets 10, he's in a 2-match ban.
And he will.
The numbers don't matter. Like, that's the thing. These guys are all the same. So if you want any of them, it really might be, it might not matter if it's Zabarnyi for 4.4 or Senesi for 4.5. Hey, Adam Smith is 4.4. And he's doing just as much as any of, like, did he get an assist this week?
He's further forward usually. Yeah.
He's an option. He's second to Senesi for chances created for Bournemouth defenders this season. And he's played about 500 minutes less than Senesi has. So the guy that's
which is weird because Senesi was gone for African Cup of Nations, wasn't
he? Yeah. No, he was suspended.
Oh, okay.
It's his first suspension. I think he had a
Senesi.
Yeah, he had already had a suspension for yellow cards in the first half of the season.
Who does he think he is? Jack Colback?
No.
Yes.
Zabarnyi is your probably most defensive player of the Bournemouth defenders. But what are you doing? Are you buying that?
No.
The upside choice for everyone right now is Kirkes at 4.4. He's he had a really I would say he had a very good performance against Manchester City. The numbers that I think Premier League, it was either Premier League or Fantasy Scout had it, just to say that he had as many shots as Solanke did. So he took 3 shots against Manchester City. He and the manager, both of them kind of said he had a good chance to score against Manchester City near the end. And he was in the box as much as Tavernier. So I guess like the attacking players, like yeah, I mean he's a guy that was going forward, and the manager specifically talked about the way he dealt with the game, that he overlapped really well with Tav and Dango. So if you can overlap well with Tav and Dango, you're gonna get your chances.
Dango or Django?
No, Dango.
Unchained?
Dango. Make that your team name, please.
Dango Unchained.
Yes.
Word.
We've already covered that this season.
And this is the thing. There's no Lloyd Kelly would normally be starting there, and the projection is for him to be out at least a few more weeks. So at least for this little,
even when he was healthy, he wasn't playing as regularly though.
That's the thing. That's why I'm saying you're doing this because there's two games, and the fixtures and the colors are green.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how much I'm investing there. I might go. I just, if it's a transfer in, transfer out, I just don't know.
Same with the midfielders. Be honest, you're not getting Dango Utara.
It'll end up being Jefferson Lerma.
He's in Crystal Palace.
I know.
You can't. It's not. It's not Clivert. You're not getting Phil Billings, Sinistera. You're not doing anything. Right. You're just not doing it. The only guy, if you want to use the reverse fixture as a measuring stick here.
Okay.
Tavernier had his one big game of the season in the reverse fixture against Sheffield. He had a brace and an assist with 3 bonus points. Okay. So he goes for a 16. That's his one big performance this season was at Sheffield.
Bye.
Click, hurry.
All right.
He has 71 points this season, which is one less than Sean Longstaff. So this is who you're buying. If you go for Tavernier.
Yeah.
Sean Longstaff.
Tavernier's going to have a monster week, you watch. Better than Kirkic and Sneezy.
Tavernier hasn't had a return since he got an assist in game week 20.
Which means he's due.
He is. That's what I'm getting at. He is due.
He does not want to talk about Bournemouth anymore.
Holy
Stop it. He's over
crap.
It. I just think the only thing you're banking on is that Bournemouth is competent this season. Solanke hopefully will be playing. And when they're attacking, they've managed to do it, and these are good fixtures. So that's it. That is the end.
Give us one more thing.
No. That's
for what it's worth.
And that's a lot. And I can promise you this.
Dominic Solanke played 90 minutes against Sheffield in game week 13.
And scored nothing,
Had a great XG, 0.62 XG, and finished with 2 points.
Yeah.
So
they deserved every minute of that. They've got a great schedule. They got a lot coming up.
No.
These are the guys, because you're going to look at these are the names you're looking at. This is who you're going to. You are legitimately going to wonder.
Should I do this?
Clivert's in the top 15 of transfers in for midfielders. Maybe I need to think about that.
No. You're right.
Hey, he had a good game against Sheffield in the reverse fixture too. So anyway,
Travis,
that's it.
Travis, is there an extra little glass around here? Maybe
there isn't.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I'd have to go upstairs and get it.
No, we're not going to do that.
I'm not committed enough for that.
That's fair.
All right, you want to talk about? Let's go to Arsenal. Just talk about.
I'm about to pour myself some more, and then I'm
gonna waterfall it. All right, let's talk about a real game. Arsenal 4, Newcastle 1.
You should have captained Saka this week. That's who you should have captained.
Saka had another.
If any of you chickens had any guts, he would have captained Saka.
No guts here. I'm trying to figure out, Ryan, what to do when you're in first place in the mini league, and you don't want to do anything too rash, but you got to kind of keep it fresh too. I don't know what to do. This is uncharted territory. Somehow I'm still hung on to first place in the mini league, and I don't know how much longer it's going to happen. But for 4 weeks, it's happened.
You moved up also in the.
And I did in the podcast league. I moved up to 4. So
what I was gonna say is, Dave,
again, uncharted territory for me, and I'm looking nervous. Tied? Am I tied?
Josh. Go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're supposed to say his last name, but I kind of talked over it. Really? No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
What I was gonna say is, Dave, in mentioning him even earlier, just to go through the numbers, is that because he's the number 1 scoring midfielder and the number 1 scoring midfielder by form and by. Like I said, since game week 22,
double digits,
59 points since game week 22. Number 1 by a margin.
Weird.
He's a captain candidate in any plus matchup.
So 4 out of those 5 matches are double digits. And the one that he didn't get double digit was 9. So it's 10, 9, 15, 15, 10. Jeez, they're at Sheffield, home Brentford the next 2 matches. You're right. He is. I mean,
what's stupid for him is the numbers. It should be better. Created 9 chances, which is okay.
No, it should be better.
2 big chances created for him with an XA of over 1. So minimum he should have had. I think he should have added. He has 0 assists since game week 22. I don't know how that's possible.
They're always trying to walk it in. That's what it is.
Oh, Lord,
walking it in.
Travis made me something here, and I like it, but I don't like it.
Always trying to walk it in.
I like it here. I want to try to get it hung behind me, like floating
on the sheet,
like just floating.
You should have done the arse part of it as like a 11.2 font, just so that it's just a tiny fraction of a bit bigger.
It's so dumb. No, Brian, you're right. And some people I did see had the guts to captain Saka.
Great.
And let's be honest, if you're trying to catch someone in your mini league, the only way to do it, is probably to not captain Holland, which there is at this point, there's an inherent risk any match. But Brian already alluded to it. Manchester City in their last 3 match weeks have scored 1 goal a game.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's been Holland, and sometimes it hasn't been.
And then they unclogged the toilet against Luton, and now everybody's nervous again because they're playing against a Harry Maguire-less Manchester United in the derby.
Which is 100% warranted.
Yeah,
100% warranted. We're not talking about them. We're talking about Arsenal. But that is a fantastic point.
We will get to United. Arsenal, you should own 3, although they do not play in match week 29, just like City.
So what? You like them? You just said the matchups are too good the next 2 weeks.
They are.
And anybody.
And I own now because I brought in Odegaard last week. It didn't pay off.
Yeah.
But Odegaard was fantastic in the match. I have a good feeling it's going to pay off this week. They're away to Sheffield, and I have a feeling that it's going to be Odegaard's week this week.
Here, now that you have no forward that matters,
or at all,
the general thing with Arsenal feels like any midfielder can get something any game.
If Kai Havertz is scoring, then that is a true statement.
Kai Havertz is 2 games in a row, double digit fantasy points.
How many weeks in a row
validating that statement.
Is he going to get a goal and an assist again this week, Dave? Yes or no?
Saka?
No, Havertz.
Yeah, he might. Yeah.
He's going to start again, right?
Yeah, no, he will. I expect.
I'm just saying you can't
the team has looked different. Once they got back from Dubai, they've been different. Also, Kiwior has been starting in defense,
right? So
all of a sudden,
scoring
and assisting, and so I think
yes,
and so it's. I don't think Zinchenko's coming back in the lineup, and their defense has tightened up, and they've gotten better on set pieces, and they might be starting the tallest defense, although I know Newcastle's is very tall. But Kiwior is a natural center back. Ben White used to be a center back. Now they're both left back and right back, and then they have Gabriel and Saliba in the middle. Like, their defense is pretty tall back there. And their set pieces, I heard someone commenting, and I thought it was brilliant. You know, Arsenal they don't have a number 9 to bang in sitter goals like a Darwin or Holland or Solanke or Watkins. But where they have been getting goals is on set pieces. Their set pieces have sort of been giving them the striker goals. Mm-hmm. And their Saliba and Gabriel and Kiwior, they've been putting the goals in from the set pieces.
Yeah.
And it's just been wild.
I just click on a midfielder for Arsenal, and it doesn't matter which one. You don't have to go far back to see somebody getting you something, because we can talk about Trossard almost any week. Martinelli got an assist. He assisted the first goal that you scored this week, I think.
I think so. If only there was a way.
Declan Rice, it
was the own goal. The own goal, Botman. And then, Martinelli assisted Havertz. Yeah, and then Havertz assisted Saka, and then Rice assisted Kiwior.
Right. So I'm saying, you have almost every one of these guys every week, because Declan Rice is taking set pieces, he can get you something. Havertz, because of just by function of being out there, and because he's playing good. You can't complain about him, right?
No.
No one's complaining about Kai Havertz right now, right?
No one. And look, his last 2 match weeks, double digits, 12 and a 14.
Yeah, it's massive. I'm just saying, and then Odegaard blanks, it does what he normally does, looks amazing and blanks, comes off a little bit early, because why? You don't need him.
No,
you're winning 4-0 at that point, I think, when he came off.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, any one of those guys can do anything any week. The only thing you're probably not counting on, I wouldn't be counting too much on a Martinelli goal or a Declan Rice goal. Other than that, every other guy seems to be able to get anything.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, it's Saka and if you can talk yourself into having more than one of them, like, are you still like tomorrow? You don't have an open spot and you want to put an Arsenal person in it that's not Bukayo Saka. Is it still Odegaard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You trust him more than whatever the numbers, whatever any other person's doing creatively. I think we've run through that in previous weeks.
I did it.
Okay.
I mean,
I know you haven't.
Right.
Just,
I mean,
so I would to that question, I would say everything you just talked about points to a defender being the one you bring in for that.
Yeah.
So I just pulled the numbers.
Well, and or I've seen some guys ranking in like the top like 5,000. A lot of them, multiple guys, have David Raya, and it's been David Raya as their goalkeeper.
So you mentioned set plays. How many set play goals does Arsenal have this season?
I think it's crazy, like 14.
Guess. Set play goals?
8.
8? That's one number that is correct. It's 18.
What?
18.
They have
Holy
18
geez.
set play goals.
That's
and
too many.
34 goals from out of play.
That's not fair.
So
I think there should be an
so
investigation.
their set play XG is 10.67 on the season, which is not the highest, by the way. It is the third highest.
Wow.
Everton and Brentford are higher by some margin, but Everton has 15, and they're actually second from most goals in set plays. But 18 set play goals, that says a lot. And to me, ultimately, you're not wrong. They're scoring from open play, but they're scoring a lot of goals from set plays, and they're coming on right now, big time with set plays. So I think a defender is worth a shout.
No,
and
you're right.
My
That's
strategy has been Saka and 2 Arsenal defenders, Saliba and Gabriel.
Yeah, and a lot of people have
Who
them.
do you play this week?
Away to Sheffield.
Oh, right, Sheffield.
And
so they're bottom 10,
and then home Brentford.
And Brentford's much better much better. I mean, they've conceded 6 set piece goals, but Sheffield's
no, that's a
conceded
good
9.
point, Travis. It really is. Like,
I have
if
Gabriel,
I'm looking midfielder, I know you have Saliba
and Gabriel.
Yeah.
But if I was messing around, it'd be Kiwior and Gabriel.
Yeah.
Kiwior's not a bad look.
I'm just saying this
Right
is.
now,
I don't think he's coming out. Even if Zinchenko gets healthy, I don't think Kiwior's
You might as well
out.
have a weekly segment that's just Kiwior with 2 exclamation points on it. Like, honestly, at this point, it's the second week in a row where he's the only Arsenal defender that matters.
You asked me a few weeks ago, is he going to Kiwior Dave what? And I'm like, I think he's going to continue to stay in there.
Yeah.
And now that even if Zinchenko which he's not back in training, even if he does, I think it's Kiwior's spot at the moment.
His numbers in particular, there's nothing special about them. So the numbers for him don't matter. It's purely, at this point, it's a function of his role and being in a number 1 or 1A defense.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Right.
And the fact that he's 4.3 makes it a giant slap in all of our faces. He's less than 1% while we sit here.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. No.
And how can
right now?
This is
$1, $2 this time.
$2, Saliba out, Kiwior in to free up my money to get Luis Diaz in my midfield.
There it is.
This is my.
You solved your problem. You solved your own problem by saying we're stupid and the joke's on us.
Stay in the Arsenal defense, which is better than the Liverpool defense. No offense, but that gets. I was absolutely not trying to make you do that. You did that on your own. No,
Liverpool has the third lowest XG.
I'm just saying
against.
Like,
yeah,
there are options on options on options.
Arsenal's first.
All right. Anyway, I mean, people still buying like Trippier. Are people still?
I have
owning,
Trippier.
What? Why?
Because they have had other pressing issues.
Okay, but if you were wild carding right
no,
now,
absolutely not.
Would you have Trippier in your lineup? Would you have anyone from Newcastle defense in your lineup?
Defense, absolutely not.
Would you have anyone in their midfield in your lineup?
See, what's crazy
Gordon?
is
you think about Gordon.
I think about Gordon. I would just say so the matchups even weeks ago where you're like, I don't know that I want to play him really because they're at Aston Villa. He gets an assist and he gets bonus points in that. Then the following week, you're like, all right, well, they seem to be back on it. They were really good defensively against a very good Aston Villa team. They go in and win at Villa 3-1. They smack them.
Right.
So then you're home to Luton and you're like, all aboard the Newcastle train. I'm riding a magpie to the promised land. Is that what people say? I think that's how they say it. And it goes 4-4, but you're not mad about it if you have Trippier, if you brought him in that week, because he scored a goal. So Trippier goes for 9 in a week where Fabian Schär was your goal scorer. I think Schär scored a goal against Villa, I'm pretty sure. And he was a trendy pickup going ahead of Luton just because it looks like an awesome matchup, whatever, a home matchup against Luton, and then they concede 4, and Trippier's the only guy that does anything in the defense. We're not that far, and then he followed that up with an assist against Nottingham Forest. You're 2 weeks away from Trippier going on a.
Did you spill all over yourself?
No, not all over, but a little bit, man. Not like all
He's
over.
dribbling.
Little leakage.
Dribbling like Doku over there.
Well played.
Spraying it all over the place.
Oh, man.
No, I'm saying you're 3 weeks away from him going on a 7-9-4, and then blanks against Bournemouth, and then I didn't play him again. I think I left him in because I had to against you guys, but he's not like a guy I'm like, I gotta play. I gotta make sure I got Trippier in my lineup against Arsenal because I had other.
Yeah.
My lineup was my lineup last week.
This past Arsenal match, and I know we've moved to Newcastle, was the best Arsenal match they've played all season.
And they still conceded a dumb goal. You idiot.
I was furious about that stupid clean sheet that they gave up. But whatever. Anyways, but it's a shame. Newcastle occupied a lot of earned discussion earlier in the season and most of the year, and now it's just like I treat them like Crystal Palace. Next. Let's just move
somebody, on. No, just that somebody. I mean, this is commonly asked now. The transfer of Newcastle from one of the top 3 defenses in the league to now the worst defense in the league is
Joe Linton.
There's a
Joe Linton being gone.
There's a 30.
That's a
but
great
I'm saying
shout.
there's a 30 for 30 episode of this ready to happen. What the heck?
Listen, Joe Linton is to Newcastle as Rodri is to City. It's excellent. Crazy, but that's one of the main things you can look at. Joe Linton.
If there's a diminished performance from him because of the injury that then led up to him being out, and that was what precipitated it. I mean, for sure. What I was going to say, I'm not buying Newcastle. You're not bringing him in, but they are home, and it is against Wolves, who are not going to have Hwang. So a no Hwang Wolves.
Castrated, if you will.
Easy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You will.
Just that I'm not counting on a clean sheet necessarily, but it's not bad. And that's why my defense right now is Trippier and 2 Arsenal guys. It's not. I'm comfortable.
Who's your fourth?
I've got
He's
Doughty,
starting 3.
Alfie Doughty, and I've got Stupinian still.
My 3 defensive guys starting this week is Ake, Saliba, and Virgil.
There's nothing wrong with that. I like that. This is
fine.
But that's for good variety. This is what I'm talking about. Who are you starting?
Oh, nice.
I still have Connor Cody.
You know who I have
Shane
held
Duffy,
on to and started to play.
Shane Duffy is grandfathered in for me from previous season.
Craig Dawson.
No.
That's a good one.
Cash against Luton.
Okay.
I'm gonna play him.
I don't hate it. I do want to talk about Aston Villa defense whenever we get there, but
I mean,
we can go there next.
They looked like they were gonna have a clean
Let's
sheet.
Move to Villa.
But Saliba and Gabriel. And then it'll be Van Hecke against Fulham or Doughty against Villa. Probably Van Hecke.
Yeah, I would probably do that.
Villa 4, Forest 2, Watkins. The guy that my biggest regret was letting him out of my team, and I've never been able to bring him back in. Douglas Luiz with a brace, and then Brian's boy, one of your true boys, Leon Bailey, brings a fourth. And
goal and assist.
My boy.
Niak Hate, did I say it right? Musa Niak Hate. Niak?
I think
Tecate.
Yeah, breathier.
No, it's got an N in it.
Tecate's the Mexican cerveza. I would thought you, of all people, the dribbler, would know that.
This week, my one move.
Gibbs White got on the board.
My one move this week was Watkins, and I even
or out.
Watkins in. My.
At this point, everyone listening to this is screaming, "You didn't have Watkins!"
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But even when looking at it, I had sold him weeks ago to go. It was to go Watkins to Holland. Whenever I was trying to get Erling Haaland back in my team,
you couldn't sell anyone else.
What was I going to do? Not triple captain Erling Haaland in a double game week? Are you stupid?
Watkins is the number one scoring forward.
I can read. I'm saying that
he's outscored Saka on the season. He's the highest scoring offensive player.
I sold him ahead of what looked like the fixtures that I felt like I could sacrifice him for, and it was Watkins to Haaland. It wasn't Watkins to like I would have done earlier in the season
to Darwin.
No, that's who I did do.
I know.
So I got rid of Watkins for Haaland, but then I had money to go from Joao Pedro to Darwin for the Liverpool double, and
that was fine.
Erling double.
Okay.
So I'm banking on it worked. I mean that was
good.
That worked.
No, that's
because that ended up being okay because Watkins blanked that week.
Yeah.
Hey, this is why you're first place in the mini league.
I am not.
Oh.
He is. I'm saying that this week was another week where I'm like
he normally
he
is.
also doesn't have
I'm
Watkins.
saying this week I'm like
is
this really what I'm doing? The boringest, stupid, obvious move in the universe, and I the whole time the self-loathing of
this feels like
clicking,
deja vu from your
clicking
bullying
on
into
that.
Saka.
Yeah, it is exactly. And then what happens? Lots of points. Ugh.
Hey, you'll never learn.
I know. I hate it. No, like there's nothing else to say about him. He's you can't complain about anything. All the complaints are in the midfield because
Douglas Luiz.
I'm saying
5'6", that's insane.
Who is the trendy pick? You texted me about it. Who's the trendy pick this week? Wolves. Everyone going to Wolves.
Yes. Sorry, it's so late in the match week, and now I've seen all the FA Cup games. It just feels like the last Premier League match week is far away.
Official fantasy.
Yes, we did have absolutely had a conversation.
FPL America condolences out to anyone who went to Neto or He-Chan instead of an Aston Villa midfielder.
We discussed it. I don't think we said go to them in front of Villas.
I did go to Neto.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Not last week.
Yeah, he did.
I'm going to be honest.
He did it weeks ago.
I was worried. I had an eyebrow raised. I was worried. And then I was rooting for it to not happen because I didn't make a move for a wolve. And of course it did not happen.
WOLVE for anybody
wolve.
Spelling at home. A wolve. Yeah. Well, look.
Holy smokes! All right. Anyways,
first of all,
Douglas Luiz.
Douglas
Luiz.
If you want to stay on the midfielders, super condolences to anyone that bought a Wolves midfielder other than Sarabia instead of getting Leon Bailey or Douglas Luiz in your team.
Right.
You want to do a quick Dougie L versus Leon segment?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Bring that.
Here you go.
Bring that thunder.
Everyone's favorite stat after this performance is that Douglas Luiz has scored 9 goals at home and has 0 goals on the road. So home Dougie L is the best. That's the best Doug you're getting.
He's got mom's cooking for him before pre-game meals before the home matches.
Douglas Luiz has 5. We just talked about a little bit ago with Foden. He's got 4 double-digit game weeks this season.
He's got
Douglas
5?
Luiz got 5.
Yeah, I'm looking at those numbers right now. They're pretty great.
His home away.
He's 5'6".
The home away
5'7".
numbers. The home away numbers are crazy this season.
He went up tonight.
5'6". Yeah, I think he's going up, but 5.
I'm sorry,
5'6"
Brian.
right
Go.
now.
No, for the season, 98 points scored at home, 32 points scored away.
Wow.
Even the goals he scored this week, like he scored 2 open play goals, so that's already weird. And then I don't know, they're not fluky. I mean, they were good. They were good goals. They're just he doesn't do that often.
He's not going up, but you know who is going up? / did? Erling Haaland.
That's hilarious. I
To
love
14.5.
how arbitrary it is.
Oh Lord.
I mean, the shots there's a minimal difference in shots home and away for Luiz, but
Okay, but
Luiz
it's
went up to
this is a
5'6"
crazy
on the
one.
25th.
On target, 13 shots on target at home, 3 shots on target away.
wow.
I mean, I just feel like
So
the discrepancy of it. 8 big chances at home, 1 big chance on the road, 23 touches in the box at home, 12 touches in the box away. Like it's and then you have Leon Bailey. To me it was more like he started every game but one since game week 18. So my arbitrary number for Leon Bailey, we talked about him briefly last week, just as like some people were going there. If you went there, you're thrilled. Since game week 18.
But he's the same price as Luiz.
Since game week 18,
Okay.
he's 10th-ish in everything. He's 10th-ish in points. He's got 45 points since game week 18, tied for 9th place with Odegaard. Like,
Nobody's buying that guy.
well, no, I'm just like, but it's not like Odegaard. He's not setting the town on fire. It's just he's
He is in
good.
David's
He's
mind.
very good.
Oh, you wait.
Yeah, this week I'll wait.
Oh,
He's tied for 10th in shots. He's tied for 7th in shots on target. He's tied for 9th for touches in the opposition. But like he's and then he has a game like this where it's like gotta get Leon Bailey and he's fine. He's been fine for the season. He's been fine since game week 18. The obvious difference is that it's a certainty of minutes. I mean, it's Douglas Luiz is not coming out. Bailey might. He might get benched. He probably won't. But he could. He
burns out too. So
way
he's
more likely to get substituted early.
Yeah.
Since game week 18, even the minutes. I mean, I was surprised. Leon Bailey's played a good bit, but it's 765 minutes for Luiz and 642 for Leon Bailey. So you got 120 more minutes since game week 18 for Douglas Luiz. So to me, I mean, the certainty of minutes probably is what, and penalties. I mean, that is to me you're picking one.
It's just wild.
You're
It's
picking
easy.
Douglas Luiz.
It's easy. Yeah.
It's just wild because Douglas Luiz is 6th in midfield scoring.
Yeah.
He's 10 points behind Bowen, 12 points behind Son, 13 points behind Foden.
That's only because Bowen scored so many goals.
20 this past match week.
They should do
otherwise
he
he'd
would have
be
been higher.
5th. Yeah,
Correct.
you're right. Good point.
They should profile any of do a full write-up of any FPL managers who had both of them in their team this week.
Luiz and Bowen.
No. Luiz
Bailey.
and Bailey.
And Bailey.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else from Villa? I
yeah.
Look, a lot of people like Moreno and Matty Cash, and I just looked at their numbers and I'm like, why?
Condolences to anyone who bought an Aston Villa defender instead of a Wolves defender. So flip it. Like
that was annoying.
Goes the other way.
That was really
It's so weird how every Aston Villa fan was concerned that they were going to ship a lot of goals because they lost their best defensive midfielder and one of their best defenders, and sure enough, it happened exactly the way everyone kind of warned that it would. It's crazy how that kind of stuff
Interesting.
happened. Pau Torres, probably the trendiest choice of defender this week. He went off injured at halftime because of an ankle issue that may or may not be ongoing. There is cautious optimism that he could be fit for Luton.
Hey, Callum Chambers came on. He's a product of the Arsenal
Chambers
Academy.
is on that team?
He will be fine. They'll be fine.
Wow.
He's basically an Arsenal player.
My actual favorite player, Alex Moreno, subbed off at 58 minutes.
Yeah, you hate that.
Just what you want. Yellow card, 2 goals conceded, gets you a -1. before he goes off.
It's his second -1 in the last 5 match weeks.
Langlais, the best value of all the garbage points that you got this week because he was 4.5, played the whole game, and at least got you a 2. And then Matthew Cash, I have no idea. Do you look at his percentage? 15.4%.
Impossible.
Because of people like
teams.
you.
It's dead teams and people like me.
But mostly dead teams. It's impossible.
He started again. He did nothing.
He's playing well. Like, he has gotten the hockey assist on half of the goals here. So he was on the 6-yard line for one of them and made the penultimate pass for the goal. So he's in dangerous positions, and it's just hard to watch Villa and not like think that at some point it's going to start translating, right?
Yeah, I hear that.
Maybe. Luka Dean subbed on for 31 minutes.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's not necessarily the takeover, but it could be the re-takeover for Dean. It could be a moment. I don't know. It's just that they have other stuff coming up again.
Just a poser.
They have other.
Nobody likes French people.
He's a poser.
They're looking for a reason not to play him.
I mean, he played more this week than he'd played in a really long time. He had subbed on for just tiny bits, and now he subbed on for a big bit.
Big bits.
So the big bit is usually precedes the biggest bit. Hey, Ezri Konza was back in training this week, so that is an actual good boost.
That's good.
So the injury concern was not season long, but the fact that he's there, that helps everybody. I still don't know why. I mean, I don't know. Do you really expect them to get another shutout here? Do you really looking at playing at Luton? Do you really think this Aston Villa team can go to Luton and keep a clean sheet? I say no.
I don't own any. Other than Watkins, I don't own any villains.
Probably not.
I just like, I get if you want to take the chance, like the matchup comprehensively, like looking at the entire league, like you'd prefer that it's a team like Luton, you prefer that it's a bottom team. I don't know. This is not a Luton team that's been showed to be scared of anybody.
No, they go
they are
full gas. Luton's a fun game to watch.
Absolutely.
Right now.
So
it is.
I didn't like City beating up on them, but, whatever. Happens.
What else we got?
All right. I was looking at the other matches, and I'm like, man, is there just any relevance anywhere else?
So we do have to say one thing about Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
Just that Nottingham Forest, in a segment we like to call, they play in game week 29 too.
Fair. So that's true.
And they play at Luton. Who doesn't want a piece of that action? As we find out with Aston Villa.
It's a fun game.
What I was gonna say, I don't know that you're really doing anything with a defender for them. Do you really want Taiwo? You going to Iwani?
Gibbs White.
You putting an attacker in there that's a forward. I don't know. It might be an inevitability because of the lack of
if you're free hitting.
If you're free hitting, I think
then Taiwo and Gibbs White and or Hudson Odoi.
Well, I was here. Let me
would also be in my team.
We went on a rant about Hudson Odoi. Come on, let's
disagree.
Be honest. Don't
I'm about to change your mind.
Oh, that's right. Because
you have more ranting about him.
No, he's right. I remember because he was like.
He's outperforming his stats by way too much.
He was shooting 4 times and scoring 3.
My feelings about Nottingham Forest midfielders are similar to my feelings about Arsenal midfielders.
They're the best.
They are awesome.
Each week, one of them is going to do something.
Pure
you just don't
poetry.
Know
yes.
Who it's going to be.
Any of them can. Any of the key guys can get you anything any week. Let's pick game week 19 as my random data point because most of the guys that's about the time that Hudson Odoi has started more permanently.
Okay.
So you got your price between Hudson Odoi. I'm throwing Anthony Elanga and Gibbs White and Dominguez, who surprisingly popped up on the points here for them in a way that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
So Hudson Odoi is 4.7. Elanga 5.1, Gibbs White 5.7, and Dominguez 5.0. Okay, so all reasonable. you can make your whole midfield.
Also feels like Alanga has almost been playing striker sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, did you guys know Anthony Alanga is Swedish?
I didn't.
No.
Wouldn't have placed him as Swedish. Okay.
Since game week 19, actual points, your favorite metric. Points are points. Hudson-Odoi, 41 points. Alanga, 33 points. Dominguez, 30. Gibbs-White, 26. So in actual scoring, Hudson-Odoi, I mean, it obviously benefits from 4 weeks of returns in a row.
Right.
3 weeks in a row. So not surprisingly, Hudson-Odoi's got 3 goals. Nobody else has more than 2. Your shots, Alanga, 13. Gibbs-White, 12. Hudson-Odoi, 10. Shots on target, Alanga, 6. Hudson-Odoi, 5. Gibbs-White, 4. Shots in the box, Alanga, 11. Hudson-Odoi, 6. Gibbs-White, 5. Alanga, 11. Gibbs-White. It's like this the whole way down. Big chances, Alanga, 6. Gibbs-White, 2. Hudson-Odoi, 1. Touches in the box, Alanga, 33. Hudson-Odoi, 23. Gibbs-White, 14. Alanga's leading in assists. He's got 4 assists. Dominguez has 2. Hudson-Odoi and Gibbs-White each have 1. And then, honestly, Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs-White, and Alanga are all fine. They've got 12 chances created for Gibbs-White. Hudson-Odoi and Alanga, 11 chances created.
So if you're free hitting in 29, Alanga should
looks
be
like
on
Alanga's the winner. Based on
agree.
just based on straight up numbers.
Yeah.
Like it's Alanga and then anyone else. It's just that Hudson-Odoi had the better little streak there. But who gets the return this week? Gibbs-White.
Divock Origi.
Yeah. And Iwan-E. Iwan-E got an assist this week.
Yep.
Divock,
So that's why I'm saying,
Divock
like,
came on at half.
Right. I just like.
It's a shadow of himself.
Are you excited about this? Everyone jazzed about game week 29, putting 2 or 3 Nottingham Forest players in their team. We're gearing up. Everybody likes this.
Yes.
This is what the free hit is for. I get that. But come on.
I know.
I don't know, man.
I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to talk about it more.
I think if you can end up doing 30 points, if you free hit, the goal is to do 25 to 30 points above whatever the average will end up being.
Yeah. Do you feel like, and I know this is the general question,
25 to 30 points above the average? That's a lot above the average.
Yeah, but I mean, typically your chip, I think you're hoping to get about 20 extra points out of your chip when you use a chip.
Oh, out of a chip. Yeah. Okay, that
Right?
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, are the gains? I guess that's the thing. Like, if you wait, it's the hope that game week 34 is a bigger game week, and you free hit that week. Do you feel like the gains are better depending on the size of the double game week for game week 34 than it is for playing a free hit in game week 29, where there's the same like 6 teams?
Normally, I would always say yes.
I would say yes.
But I have to admit, Scott and I would always butt heads on this. And there was plenty of times where it ended up being it was the same for both. It was both
partially because not everybody on a double game week is playing both game weeks too.
And that was part of Scott's thought process.
Stupidity. What?
Oh, his thought process in having his opinion. So
it wasn't stupid right away. It just
wasn't wrong. Just wasn't right yet.
Stupid.
Yes.
At that point. No,
correct.
It took a while for it to be stupid. No, that's just the maximizing the number of it's just it's maximizing the number of players that are playing. We'll say it forever. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. There are clear examples where it was a dud.
Yep.
Examples where it was great.
It happened. It happened 2 weeks ago. What bigger dud was there than the Manchester City and Liverpool double game week? The best 2 teams by far, other than Arsenal,
kind of a dud
in the league. Big dud.
Yeah.
I mean, that was injury driven, but come on.
Yeah.
I mean that Holland triple captain wasn't terrible.
Yeah, he got 10.
There are better weeks to triple captain for sure, but it was not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
Just the fact that people were ready to put it in the pantheon of worst ever triple captains. I mean,
all right,
it was on the borderline.
Let's give this a rundown. Brian, anyone from these teams that we haven't mentioned, float your boat. Travis, you can weigh in on this too. Brighton, Everton, Palace, Burnley, United, Fulham.
That was
Wolves, Sheffield. I mean, is anyone in that list lighting you up there?
Negative.
And I think we did talk West Ham and Bowen. I'm not bringing Bowen in yet, but I don't fault anyone who does after coming off a hat trick. I wouldn't expect it probably this next week, but maybe Bowen's back on the up. And the bigger news for West Ham is Paqueta's back.
What order do you want to do this in?
That's what I'm saying. Just pick cherry pick. A lot of those teams, I don't think they have anything worth covering.
Well, let's go to the big. Go to the heavy hitter then. Just that Bowen.
Yeah, go to West Ham.
Bowen goes 3 shots, 3 goals, just like you drew it up in practice.
You love those stats.
I love it. My favorite. But it really is. It's crazy how it's really literally Paqueta is here. Bowen do good now.
Yeah. It felt
that's like what it was. David Moyes said it. Talked about how much I'm sure he feels better that he's out there. He's going to have more chances to score. Every game week for West Ham between now and game week 34 is good. Prove me wrong. Everton, Burnley. At Everton. Home Burnley. Home Aston Villa. At Newcastle. Home Spurs. At Wolves. Home Fulham. At Palace. There's not one bad thing in there. Or at least not one game where you say, no, they can get something.
At St. James,
Not worried about it.
You're right.
What are you worried about?
You're right. Newcastle's defense hasn't been stopping anybody.
I'm not worried about goals in that game. I wouldn't necessarily be expecting West Ham to win. I would just like to say to you guys.
He's pointing.
West Ham, no win. Winless since January until this week.
When Paqueta's back.
They're in 8th. They're in 8th place. They're 8th in the table. Why would anyone be this surprised that they can turn it around? Like that there's not a turnaround when they get a key player back. I'm just saying, like this was that's
a good point.
It's a home game and they did. It's not even a switch that's flipped. They've had moments. They just could not get they've had draws, they just could not get wins. They've had bad losses for sure.
Right.
They're still in 8th. They get any results since January, any of those are a result, they're up with Manchester United pushing for 6th. Anyway.
I love that statement.
Did sound great.
Emerson versus Soufal. You could kick that around if you wanted to. They're both cheap.
Okay.
I think the overall points skew toward Emerson, but I think it's basically
because he scored. Yeah,
it's a shooter versus a creator, and that's where all the numbers go. Emerson shoots way more. Soufal almost shoots 0, but Soufal has created basically double the number of chances. So, I mean, Emerson's 4.4. He's slightly more selected than Soufal is. It's just that Emerson had that unbelievable goal. I mean, you're not counting on that again. You're probably not again this season. Just saying, in this run of matches, like Areola becomes usable. You're not starting Areola against Tottenham or Villa or maybe even Newcastle, but like, so what? That's what you've been happy to bench him any other week. Okay. So I'm just saying, like, there are times where these guys could come into. They both, like, Emerson scores this week. Soufal gets an assist this week. Like, both guys have gotten returns. They've both shown that they're capable of doing it.
All right.
Your guy, Kudus, got an assist. So
it's the Paqueta effect. I've been wanting Kudus to make a run at being relevant again.
Kudus is your number 1 shooter this week. 6 shots for Kudus, which is number 1 overall. So not ideal. Only 2 of the 6 shots were in the box, and he didn't touch the ball in the box all that much, which I kind of expect him to do that more, I guess. Yeah. But kind
of Doku-ish.
He created 2 chances. He got a big chance, and he finishes with an assist. So he gets you a return. So like, all good. Like
his ownership is Kudu's ownership 3%.
Do we have a mojo table? Did West Ham come back up the mojo table because of this? Because I say Paqueta coming back drives up the
League Ben.
I think that drives the vibes back up.
A request has been formally made. We need to see a mojo table, and we will announce next week if I get it.
Brentford stinks.
Brentford's on a little bit of a slide.
Off day for Tony, but he was credited with a big chance in the game. So, I mean, Mope gets a goal. Of course he does.
The villain.
But Tony. It's not because Tony wasn't bad. He's still like, I think his price did go up this week. I think people are seeing
he's currently at 8-2.
He's going to be in every game week 29 team. So they do play in 29. So just count on it.
He went up. His last price rise was in match week 24. So he's gone the last 3 match weeks. He's been at 8-2.
Okay, so he did not go.
Ownership 10.1%.
You need to talk about, for Brighton and Everton, that match, there wasn't a whole lot, just that Matoma's out for the season. That stinks.
I did not know. Okay.
His back injury.
In my face. I did
probably
not know that. I hate that for him.
Probably not playing again this season. No, it's Pascal
Gross is worth mentioning.
Pascal Gross is crushing.
I know. And if I'm wild carding, it would be hard for me to not keep him out based on his stats.
Minimum, you get the next 2 weeks. I mean, the final 2 matches of their amazing run of fixtures here.
His last 4, 11, 10, 7, or 8, 7. So he's been slowly declining after his 11. But still, Pascal Gross' last 4 match weeks is first or second in midfield scoring.
Yeah, he's getting a return every week, and they still have 2 more. They blank,
at Fulham, home, Nottingham Forest. And I think you just said that.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
But it's fantastic. And then blank game week 29. I'm just saying it's not too late. Like, it can still be good. Because look at the bonus, by the way. Scroll over. For the last 4 weeks, he's gotten 3 bonus in. It's 3 bonus and 3,
2, 3.
Yeah,
that's bonus points, not fantasy scores.
Right. That's because of what he.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he does that. He's one of those guys that if he does anything,
he's
something. In bonus.
If he does anything, he does something.
Everything.
That is this podcast slogan. If he does anything,
he does something. All right, you're right.
They're
no
losing,
one else on Brighton worth mentioning.
They're losing Matoma and Ciso, who was.
Is he back?
He's back. Played 17 minutes against Everton. Played a lot of the FA Cup match here against Wolves. Yesterday. Slowly working back to fitness. Evan Ferguson played
17 minutes. Yeah.
Evan Ferguson played last week, so it's not like they're. And by the way, your guy Danny Welbeck is functional. Like he's not the
Danny Dubs he'll give you something.
He's been okay.
His minutes this year have been crazy. Well,
he's never been this healthy.
I was gonna say.
Well, he still missed.
He's missed some time.
8 games.
Hey,
he's missed 8 games.
He's never been this healthy.
I'm saying they're managing him. Look at his minutes the last 10 weeks or whatever. They're managing, like, he's played 1 match of 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, great. Keep doing it. It's
good for him.
It's working.
Nice. That dude is awesome. I want good things for him.
I'm just saying this isn't like, oh, this guy's gone. The drop off is steep for someone like Pascal Gross.
Right.
Doesn't matter. It's not like that. Penalty taker and then capable players around him. And then the only other question is, do you want to spend 5-1 on Dunk or 4-1 on Van Heck? Because you can't go to Lamptey.
I would rather have Van Heck.
You can't go to any of their. Dunk gets a goal this week. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. Is that Dunk scored. Dunk's the actual goal threat. Van Heck is a non.
Dunk in back-to-back weeks, a 12 and a 10.
Yeah, look at you. Your number one form defender is Lewis Dunk.
3 weeks ago at Palace, he had a 9.
Yeah, he went what 9-0, 10-12 or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And
I still have a Stupinian rotting on my bench that I never play at a 5-0. I just can't
rotting on De Zerbi's bench
figure out a way to get rid of him.
You could have had Dunk for the last 4 weeks instead of a Stupinian.
Oh my gosh.
Think about those points.
I'd be in the top 10,000 if that was the case. It's ridiculous.
Don't be silly. That'll never happen.
Fine margins.
Where there was something else. There was one other. Oh, Manchester United and Fulham.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Hoyland's injured. Therefore, there's nothing else to talk about on United.
Maguire's injured too.
The only thing you need to say about Manchester United, the schedule is bad, then it's fine, but they're weird. Okay?
And I want nothing to do with them.
They go Manchester Derby, then home Everton, then blank game week 29. The big issue for them is that they have a rescheduled match. The reschedule is Sheffield. So that's some point.
That 34-37?
Per Ben Krellin, if it's a possible double game week 34 for Manchester United, if they end up putting it there, and if Newcastle, who do they play in the FA Cup?
Liverpool.
Newcastle, Liverpool, FA?
Oh, no, I thought you said United.
No, Manchester United, Liverpool. It's Newcastle City.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
City,
I didn't realize the draw happened. Okay.
Just assume Newcastle's not advancing.
Probably not.
So the possibility of a double game week 34 of home Newcastle, home Sheffield for Manchester United. Even you, Red Devil hater, even you will want 2 or 3 Manchester Uniteds in that double game week.
Maybe.
Even you will have Bruno Fernandes in your team.
Not this Bruno. If last year's Bruno showed up, maybe.
So that's the first thing. This is down the road. I'm just saying it's not like you're a ways away. There's no reason to go after anyone.
It's just no one's performed.
Garnacho's cheap.
Okay, forgive me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Garnacho's still cheap.
That's not fair to Garnacho.
And Slabhead is knocked and not playing this
I don't know
week.
why Maguire's been mentioned 5 times.
Just say he scored a goal.
He's the only one that is doing anything for them.
He scored a goal.
He's scoring like crazy, keeping them
He's
in
not
matches.
scoring like crazy.
He's scoring a lot.
I'm currently looking this up.
I'm just saying that he did something. He's 4.2.
He has scored 1 goal all season, and it was the last goal this match week.
Some folks
Scoring. Kept him in the match.
He can't stop scoring. Some folks had gone to him. If you went to him, if you're a 2.3 percenter who has Harry Maguire in your team, again, way to go. I'm just saying, like Manchester United, it's at least worth mentioning that. You want to go to Garnacho, I guess it's fine.
Travis, he did, I'll give you this. He did get an assist 2 weeks ago.
Fulham, it's Muniz or probably no one, because Muniz had another good week this week. He did not return, but
when I make my move to Salah, it's probably going to be Solanke out, Muniz in.
Okay.
So
he had a moment where it was an awesome, like, it was a box out. I just felt like it was a proper Dave Smith kind of move.
Oh, nice.
Box out,
girls basketball move.
Great turn and missed wide. Could have done better with it, whatever. He took 5 shots, which is second most this week. So he did. I'm just saying he's not like we've talked about him before. You can't avoid it when a guy gets multiple weeks of returns and he's still looking good. And Fulham plays in 29.
Muniz will score next week against Brighton,
and he might score against Spurs too in 29.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
You could do Lino, your other guy.
Could you?
Do you know what where is he in goalkeeper scoring without looking? You know where he is.
No, but it's probably somewhere dumb like 4th.
Hey, you're close. He's 3rd.
It's dumber.
That makes you angry.
Well,
almost.
So I looked at goalkeepers, and it's like Pickford, Elanga, and they're really close in points. I'm like, both are crap. And then Lino, obviously crap. And then it's goalkeeper's a wasteland at the moment. If you look at the top and try to pick someone.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I don't even think it matters. Go to Kelleher. Yeah,
if you're rebuilding, this is purely like wild card stuff. But if you did, he's 4.8, whatever. But he's had 7 saves. He probably gets he probably goes for bonus if the second goal doesn't go in.
Yeah.
If this is 1-1, he gets 7 saves. He's probably on bonus points.
Yeah,
so he might even be up higher.
Maybe.
All
right.
That's it.
I think that is it. Travis, do you have anything to add?
No.
Brian's pointing at me. He's got one more thing.
Well, no, just Hwang. I just feel
we mentioned Hwang.
But does that change your feeling about Neto? I mean, if you were,
he's already got Neto.
I know, but I'm just saying. Does he? The guy who has Neto. No, I'm saying if you were buying, you're not buying. If you didn't have him, are you buying Neto this week? Are you still thinking about it?
That's a proper question.
Probably not. But Newcastle's defense is
they're horrible.
Is not great, and Wolves just came off of an FA Cup win that was tough. I don't know that
Neto's a 5'8".
I would rather have Douglas Luiz right now.
I was going to say because there's your
that's the comparison.
So the answer is no. I'd probably go Luiz.
Okay.
And Luiz plays in 29.
Correct.
Right.
So, all right.
Are you building up for Spurs? Are you doing anything?
No.
Is this all contingent on what happens with Richarlison?
Yeah, I'm holding on to Richarlison at the moment. I need to.
I got rid of him.
Just now?
Well, I'm just looking for any reason to do so, anyways.
Okay.
So.
And you brought in?
I brought Bowen back in.
Okay.
Are you doing
Okay.
Look at this chunk. Look, we talked about this before. Now is where it starts. Palace at home, at Villa, good.
Yeah.
At Fulham in blank 29, so everyone's going to have Spurs. So no matter what, you've got 3 Spurs in game week 29.
Free hit anyways. I guess that was my point. Is so I'm going to try and get as close as I can to not having a free hit and see where I end up, because of what we've talked about, where there's going to be multiple double game weeks. I think I would rather try and squeeze out maybe not a full 11 and save the free hit for the double game week if I can. And so one of the reasons why I did that was I'm trying to finagle things to make sense. So I went to Bowen specifically because he is also playing in that game. So
yeah, I mean, your move this week, if you really do want to avoid the free hit and you have a move to make, you have to move to
someone that's playing in 29.
It has to be a villain or a Spur. And then if you really want to go way down the list, or if you didn't like
Forrest and
Bowen's going to be popular.
Yeah,
a hat trick makes you popular
for sure.
And then, would you do Branthwaite?
I have to say,
would you do an Everton? Would you do Pickford or an Everton defender?
I was considering it. I would rather have Branthwaite than Estupiñán. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Because it's Luton, Palace, Fulham for Everton in 29-30.
And they might get 2 clean sheets out of there.
And they're also very good in the air.
Yep.
You could do it.
They're right. What? They're second to Arsenal, didn't you say, in set pieces? So
yeah, I think Branthwaite is a great shout. That's a really great shout.
I mean, I know he scored.
But
it's easy to say
they're also
scored.
It's true.
They're also doing pretty well in defense too. So just not this week, but in general.
No, I agree. All right, let's bring up the FPL America Podcast League real quick. Let's go through the top 5, and at number 5, League Max Liver of Grealish.
It's still probably the best name in the league.
Scored 54.
I think
54 for him. The scores are all similar here in the top 5, so there wasn't much movement. Although technically it says I'm in 4th, but I'm technically tied for 3rd with League Josh. Why always me? We are both sitting on 1589. Rockabye Angel League Shen 1597. So we're both 8 points behind him. Fast math there. And then add another 23 onto that behind League Bow Sun Sail Away, sitting on a 1620.
It's a good score.
It's a fantastic score. So anyways, kudos to all those in the mini league and the FPL America Podcast League. Again, in the mini league, I'm in first place. Never been here before. 4 weeks in a row now.
You're hanging on.
I don't know what to do.
By a thread.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's like it sounds like a lot. 30 points doesn't sound like, when there's chips to be played, that 30 points can swing in one match week, it feels like. So there is no boasting here. I am just reveling in the fact that minimum.
That's 3 Bowens. 3 Bowens will get you back there.
Okay. Wow. I like that. Anyways, all that being said, I hope everyone else has a fantastic match week. I hope things that we said can help you make some decisions. and that we will enjoy this match coming up. No Friday match. First matches start at 10, so everyone should be able to
10 a.m.
maybe make
time,
adjustments.
USA.
Real quick, are you going captain off Holland? Travis off Holland?
Probably not.
No, I think I'm
neither.
going Holland.
Yeah, I'm probably going Holland. I'm too scared to do anything else.
Quarter pounder unlocked it.
Feels like it.
I don't think so, but
No, I'm
I'm
saying
too
his
scared.
like he smashed.
Feels like
he's saying he smashed Luton.
Yeah.
And I know Manchester United's not Luton, but I don't know.
He's got confidence. It can't hurt.
Yeah, I agree. All right. With that being said, for the FPL America podcast, this is David Smith. Until next time.